Yo, yo, what's good? It's your boy Leaky Clay coming back at you with a third stream tonight. What is going on? 3 streams in one night. Let's all hit the like button to help spread the content to a wider audience. Make sure you hit the bell icon so you can stay notified whenever I put out new content. And if you are a new subscriber, 3 streams in one night. Good lord. I guess we can get maybe about 10 minutes, a little over 10 minutes before the race starts. Might as well get a lap or two in, and get a feel for the track. Arian Drake, what's up? You are first. What is going on, my friend? Oh, I don't want that angle. Chilling? All right. A penalty, really? Oh, we don't want that. Hold on, this fucking penalty is starting to build up, I think. Yeah, we're gonna start this lap over. There's no sense in me running that shit if it's gonna be a penalty. That's gonna be a penalty right there. These penalties, hey, I'd rather have the penalties in the game. Now this right here is, oh damn it. Like I said, I'm just filling the lap out, so I'm just filling the track out. Oh, that's gonna be a stiff penalty right there. Fact of the matter, Andre 6K, if they didn't have these penalties in this game, it would just be Forza all over again. Simply Deep, what's up? Another penalty. Oh. Oh well. Fuck it. I'm going to end up in the back of the pack. Fuck it. It is what it is. I'm going to wind up wherever I'm going to wind up. The car was pretty much driving itself. Anyway, Andre 6K, if you still in here listening, I was saying that if it wasn't for these penalties, man, this game would be Forza all over again. You know, even with the penalties in this game, some people still race dirty. But over on Jamal King, what's up? But over on the Forza side, there's no penalties to enforce clean racing. I mean, I used to have that mentality on Forza that I wanted to be at the back of the pack because I would just wait for everybody to wreck at that first turn and then just drive right through it. But once all that stuff starts to get sorted out and you try to work your way up position-wise, every time you try to pass somebody, they're going to knock you off the road. So, the Fatal Mephisto, the Canadian Grizzly Bear, what is up? So, the penalty system in here, yeah, it's fucked up, but we still need it. Exactly. Exactly, Andre. Yeah, I got hit with a penalty again. Oh my God, took my eyes off the track. Never take your eyes off the track going into a curve. Here, I'll try this one more time. So I can try to turn in a lap better than that 141. Yeah. Well, let's see what the extra 2 seconds got me. Damn. That was the best I could do. Was no sense qualifying. Damn. Spartan God, what's up? Jamal King, you said Super Smash Bros. Ultimate God. Simon Belmont. Richard Belmont, Crom, King K, Rule, and Dark Samus. I think when I played Super Smash Bros, I liked using that penguin that was carrying that big ass mallet. I forgot what he was called though. Alright. Long ass pit. Is this Mass Effect? No, it's not Mass Effect, but it does give out smoke. I gotta do a better job on that corner right there. That's one of the weird ass corners. It's not sharp enough to go through there slow, but it's not wide enough to punch it all the way through there. It's almost like you gotta coast through that corner. I got the funny feeling this race is going to suck. Is this ain't one of my better tracks? So you needs you a girlfriend. You live in the thought life. Hey, the thought life ain't bad. Oh shit. Motherfuckers is coming in here dive bombing. God damn it! Fucking dive bomber! Oh my god. And I got hit with a fucking penalty even though I got knocked off the damn road. Andre 6K, I gotta step my game up, man, so I can avoid being on the track with these dudes. Trying too hard. Oh my God, right there. That's what it is, Andre. I'm trying too hard to catch up to him. More than anything, I want to catch up to that motherfucker that dive bombed me. And that's the big thing right there. I'm not even trying to catch the cars way up there in first place and shit like that. I know that's over. I'm just trying to catch that motherfucker that rear ended me. Oh my God. Uh, silly big boy. Nah, I use a racing wheel, but you can tell by the way I'm driving it. I might as well be using the controller. This track has got some really deceiving curves on it. True that, Andre. A lot of them can't handle the rear-wheel drive cars. I'll respond to that comment in a minute, silly boy. There we go again. Trying too hard again. Crap gamer again, oh boy. Yeah, you mean not crap gamer, I mean crap swallower. Oh boy. I am not doing that race again. But I will sit here and talk to y'all for a couple of minutes before I shut this stream down. Queen Gamer being mentioned again. Exactly. Skip Bayless always bringing that crap gamer shit in here. That dude, man. Just the sound of that dude's name and his high gay ass voice. Let's see what I got for a gift card. Already seen from a mile away. One thing I have, noticed about this game since they implemented those microtransactions, the cars you get for the daily workouts have been cars like this. That doesn't seem to be giving away the Group 3 and the Group 4 cars anymore. You know, a car that I'm absolutely not going to use. But it is what it is. They ain't going to give you those good... Look like they might not give you those good cars no more. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. Oh, and Silly Boy, you was saying about Nürburgring. Actually, if you go back and watch any of my previous streams, you'll see that I've ran that track a couple of times in a Formula One car in VR. And actually, running that track in VR is the best way to run it because you know I can judge the distance better. Simply deep, great stream. This probably has to be one of the worst races I've ever streamed. This stream was horrible. I mean, the only good that came out of this stream was chatting with all of you, but as far as the race itself goes, it sucked. Well, yeah, Silly Boy, I mean, like, yeah, Andre 6K, I agree with that. If that dude hadn't dive bombed me, I would have finished in the top 10. But once he dive bombed me, my thoughts of winning the race went out the window, and I kind of like went into rage mode. I wanted to catch up with that motherfucker so I could knock his ass back off the road. You said you've been to Nürburgring 4 times. It's not. Oh, so you and So where you at, Silly Boy? Well, I guess while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and yeah, you're right, Simply Deep. If those douchebags hadn't screwed me over, but it's just like I was telling Andre 6K, I gotta step my game up. I gotta start finishing higher, or start winning some races so I could get matched up with people of a higher skill level that practice racing etiquette, so I don't have to be in here with these amateurs. Because that right there was a Forza 7 race right there. These motherfuckers that don't know how to drive died bombing these curves, and I was like, I knew it. I seen him coming. You in Germany, Silly Boy? All right. So let me do a time trial on Nürburgring because I'm not in VR. I don't even remember the example you gave me, Simply Deep, but it's cool. said, I remember once I was there with my slow-ass car, and there was a super fast M3. It was so loud that my lungs were vibrating. Damn. So let me go ahead and try Nürburgring in this Formula One car, because I want to see how different it is, you know, racing standard versus racing VR. It's all right, Simply Deep. I remember you giving me some kind of example a couple of weeks ago, but I don't remember what it was though. Yeah, I'm still pissed off about that dude dive bombing me. So, God damn! Nah, see, look at this turn right here. This would have been much better than VR because I could have turned my head and seen that curve before I got to the curve. Right here, as soon as I went around the curve, half of the curve disappeared when it moved from the TV screen. And for whatever reason, you seem to have oh, you know what? Let's do a couple of things. It said a friend of yours crashed 52 seconds? Oh, I am on super soft tires. You said he crashed at that curve too? Shit. Now look, silly boy, I'm gonna show you that curve again. Right there. See how the curve right there? I have not because of where I'm sitting at right here, I have no way of judging how sharp that curve actually is. Fatal Charade, what's up? Now, if I was in VR, I would have been able to turn my head. In a sense, I would have been able to look ahead of the curve before the car actually got there. So I could judge how I'm actually going to approach that curve. But like, look at this shit right here. You just in a Formula One car doing 200 something miles an hour, a sharp ass curve like that. When half of the curve disappears off of the TV screen when you get there, if you haven't already run this track 1,000 times and you know the curve, you don't, you know, one of two things is going to happen. You're either going to fly off the track or you're going to come in too cautious and you're going to come in too slow and lose time. And that's why this track right here, if I run this track basically in any kind of car, I do it in VR because I can, again, you know, because of the depth, and even though it's blurry and shit like that, the draw distance and stuff like that, you can judge that shit better. It says right there, yes, you got to memorize all of the track. Professional racers can go through the track blindly. I know what you mean, though. I got that problem too. See, I mean, I don't run this track like that. See, but the thing about it is, if I was running this track in VR, I would have been able to see that curve before I got there, and I would have been able to judge how I'm going to approach that curve. And then not only that, you know, if I'm coming in too fast, if I can hit the brakes a little bit before I get to the curve. Once I'm in the curve, if I see that I'm going too slow, I can give it gas. But my whole point is, you know, It sounds kind of crazy to use this comparison, but it's almost like playing chess. You have to see those curves like 2-3 moves ahead before you actually make your move. And with chess, you already got to be thinking 2-3 moves ahead before you make your move. And that's one of the reasons why I'm begging for a VR multiplayer for this game. Because, you know, having a 360-degree field of view, I promise you, I could finish in the top 5 in damn near all my races if they had VR multiplayer. Oh yeah, the compromising situation, and yeah. All that stuff. Yeah, I kind of remember now. So, well, let's see what I can do. See these wide curves that's in the distance? You can judge those a little bit, but those sharp ones, no. We call it the green hell over here. Did you know that racetrack is officially a public road? The insurance got to pay if you wreck your car. Damn! I mean, over here in America, insurance companies find a way to charge you through the nose and do their best to try to avoid paying you. I mean, it's the American way. That's one of the things that makes America one of the greediest countries in the world. No, not one of the greediest. I think America is the greediest. One of the fucked up things about our government is like every 10, 15 years, they always implement some kind of shit and say, you got to do this or you got to do that. And then the people that you have to go see to fix that problem, they charge you through the fucking nose. Like, I think when they started up that, like, cars had to have catalytic converters and shit like that, garages was ripping people off. I think when they started that shit talking about, you know, only professionals could, you know, put Freon, you know, charge an AC unit and put Freon in the AC unit, garages started charging you through the nose, you know, just like, you know, and, you know, now that it's damn near, you damn near gotta have insurance on everything. You gotta have insurance when you take a shit for those two chunks that drop in the toilet. You gotta have insurance for it. And therefore, the motherfucking plumbers charge you an arm and a leg. You know, it's just crazy. I can't stand how fucking greedy this country is. Y'all got way worse problems over there? Shit. Hey, silly boy, I always wanted to see Germany. Yeah, I gotta do this shit in VR, because this just ain't gonna work, because I'm just gonna keep flying off the track. And not only that, the car seems to have less grip. You say y'all got way worse problems over there? Shit, like I said, silly boy, I've always wanted to see Germany. Not to throw some race shit in there, but You know, I heard them German girls over there got jungle fever over there, and I've seen some beautiful German women over there. I don't know if we get taxed as bad as you do over there, but yeah, they'll throw in some taxes. It's like, you know, they'll throw in a gas tax every 10, 15 years, throw in a cigarette tax, you know, just. You said, from what you hear, stay away from the former East Germany. They're filled with neo-Nazis. You know, Fatal Charade, I assume that you said every country's got ooh, I'm not gonna finish reading that one. But Fatal Charade, I think every country probably has that part of the country that don't like Americans. So if I was to go visit another country, I'm gonna do some research on that country so I know what city to not go to, where crime is high and shit like that. I said, I'm just monkeying around with this shit. I wish, like right now, I wish I had that that VR headset with the HDR pass-through. Otherwise, you know, then I could just switch it to VR and just run this track in VR. But because I got the day one PSVR, I have to keep changing cords around. You know, it's like if I want to use the HDR, then I got to plug the cord directly into the TV. If I want to use the VR, then I have to unplug the cord from the TV and plug it into the processor box. You said there are more Nazis in East Germany. Yes, but they are still a minority. There are more radical leftists too. Damn. This hasn't really been a good day for streaming. Now, I started out playing Bravo Team. That was my first stream. Now what was crazy about that was I started out facing the camera directly, you know, north and south. By the time I was done with that stream, when I took the headset off, I was facing east and west, you know, even though the camera was north and south. So I was like completely 90 degrees of the camera and looking at the other wall instead of at the camera. You said your cousin married a chick from Germany while he was stationed over there. Shit, what I'd like. You know, the first time I signed up for a dating network was probably about 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And back then it was kind of a lot of people kept that shit a secret back then because, you know, dating websites were new back then because the internet was just taking off. So a lot of people kept it a secret that they were on dating websites because the perception was that if you were on a dating website, you couldn't get a date. Guy Code, what's up? So the first time I joined a dating website, you know, after I posted a couple of pictures on there, I got tons of emails from chicks from Germany. And I was like, you know, there was some beautiful women that was contacting me from Germany instead of a lot of this fat ass roadkill we got here. I live in Michigan. I think Michigan is one of the most obese states in the country. We have got a lot of overweight women in this state, and even in the city. Well, it kind of migrated, because I'm talking to Silly Boy here. He's from Germany, and I was telling him, I was like, I've seen, a lot of beautiful German women, and I heard they got jungle fever over there. So I was telling them I always wanted to see Germany. Matter of fact, that's where Porter Rock's at right now. Simply Deep, you said Alabama is like third or fourth in obesity. I wouldn't, Mississippi is the fattest. That kind of shocks me because those are southern states. So the weather still, I would be led to believe that though the weather isn't that bad, even in the winter. So I would be led to believe that people are a little more active year round. Over here in Michigan, the winters are fucked up. Only states like Wisconsin and Minnesota have, winters that are more fucked up than us. And nobody do shit here in the wintertime. Everybody stays inside. Matter of fact, here in Michigan, it's almost like pairing up, and shit like that, like some Noah's Ark shit. A lot of women will pair up with a dude that they ain't even attracted to, just so they don't have to spend winter alone. And then when spring come around and they ready to spread their wings, now they ready to be single. Say Fatal Charade, nope. They fry everything, and there's buffet restaurants everywhere. But still, even with those southern states having better weather down there, I would be led to believe that people are still more active down there. Cuffing season. Matter of fact, Fatal Charade, like here in Michigan, I already explained about the winters. Nobody do shit because the winters is fucked up here. Like me, I don't do that much in the summertime because like in July and August, we might get to about 90, 95 degrees, which don't sound like that much, but because Michigan is surrounded by all those lakes, we got that humidity here. And I mean, like, you'll sweat your fucking drawers off when it's 95 here. Unlike that dry heat I hear about, over in Arizona. You Silly Boy, you said everybody says the most fat people live in the U.S., but when I went there, people all look normal, just like they here. But you got more of those super. I probably say, Silly Boy, like when I went to California, I was in L.A. there a couple of years ago. And there was a lot of women there that had average builds. But you come to Michigan and you come to Grand Rapids, Michigan, and you'll see something totally different. You'll see a lot of overweight women wearing yoga pants all over the fucking place. Never mind that they got a big ass gut. If they got a booty, they think they hot shit. Fatal Charade, they said it gets up to 135, which sucks. Fatal Charade, this woman that I work with, she lived in Arizona for a couple of years, and she said that the humidity here was worse than the dry heat down in Arizona. Fatal Charade, I forgot you live in Michigan, so if you've been to Grand Rapids, you'll know what I'm talking about a bunch of these overweight women wearing yoga pants all over the place, and it don't matter what their age is. Said you got used to the dry heat in Arizona after a month or so. You said your sister lives in Grand Rapids? So, yeah, man, like over here in Grand Rapids, man, a lot of these women, they some big ass dump trucks walking around in yoga pants. You said your sister lives in Cutlerville? You said come to Illinois. Weather be all fucked up here. Yeah, that's true. I mean, but Guy Code, I was saying, over here in Michigan, I think like all these states like Minnesota and Wisconsin have weather that's more fucked up than ours. You said which is right outside Kentwood. The fucked up part about this shit, Fatal Charade, is that uh, you get a lot of these dudes like you get a lot of these dudes chasing after these women on Facebook and shit like that, and that's the biggest reason why these big old dump trucks walking around like they shit don't stink. Hey, Fatal Charade. You know what would crack me up though is I get out of the gym. I just get done working out. I got a pump and shit like that, and I'm wearing a tank top. And then one of them heavyweight girls, they'll look at me and kind of give me that look like, yeah, I can get him. No, you can't, because that's too much pork for one fork. Guy Code, you said you never been to Michigan, but your stepmom has family that live around the lake there. Yeah. Now the gym that I work out at is a hardcore gym. We got a lot of dudes in there to compete in bodybuilding shows. So a lot of the women in there that's really serious about working out, they got tremendous bodies, and I mean like they got some like round asses that look like two grapefruits, like perfectly round asses. But because they so fit and don't have any fat on them, a lot of those chicks don't have any boobs on them. I said, hey, Guy Code, you better be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. Like I said, you come here and fuck with some of these heavyweights here, and you get them clothes off, you're going to want to catch a cab straight home. Hey, you see a lot of that too, Fatal Charade. You said you dated it. Last chick you dated had some tickle bitties but no ass. Yeah, you see a lot of that here. It's Simply Deep. I tried it. You said about a lot of the chicks doing squats. Yeah, a lot of those chicks at our gym that's got nice asses, they squat. And and a lot of chicks that's got fucked up bodies have asked me in the past, hey, what do I got to do? What do I got to do? Do this and do that. And one of the questions they would ask me is, what do I got to do to firm up my ass? And I would tell them, you got to squat. Said, where I'm from, you get two types of women: fake country girls or tomboys. which sucks for me. Now I don't know, like Guy Code, some of them country women be thick. Them corn-fed chicks, some of them chicks be thick. What the hell? What time we got? Damn, it's almost midnight. There's two types of girls I avoid, Fatal Charade. Country girls and white girls that say they only date black guys. Ooh. Ooh. Nah, I get what you're saying, Fatal Charade. I get what you're saying. Do I remember a 90s singer named Maya? She still looks hot in her late 30s, and she's been vegan for 11 years. Yeah, I remember Maya Simply Deep, because matter of fact, she came here and performed once. She came to this place we call the Orbit Room. She came here, she did about 3 songs and left. And I guess the reason why she left was I guess she had to go jump on the plane and fly to Chicago to go record a song with R. Kelly, because from what I heard, he liked to record at night. Fatal Charade, you say mainly because they're saying that because generally white guys don't want them, so they're settling. Yes, I've come across some women like that. I've seen some women like that when they was slim, they was hot shit and they was super picky, and then they went off and had a couple of kids and put on some damn weight. Now they not that hot chick anymore, so yeah, they end up, now I see them walking around with, with these damn bums and shit, So yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, believe me, I understand what you're saying more than you ever know, because, I'm 51 years old, and I probably say about 85% of the women that I dated were white. My son is with a white woman. He said, I came across one who was like that, but she kept telling me how her friends are racist and kept trying to slip the N-word in the conversation. Of course. Yeah, I've heard that shit too. But I will say this, and I don't, this may sound like a stereotype, but I think it's more of a fact than it is a stereotype. White men this goal oriented, that's been to college and job, making $100,000. Like this dude might be 30 years old, making $80,000 or something like that, and he's got an athletic build. He is not gonna fuck with no heavyweight woman. Now, if he goes off and hook up with a slim woman and they have a couple of kids and she put on weight, that's one thing, but he not gonna start out looking for a heavyweight chick. That's all to it. He said you ran into one from Holt who said she only dates black guys because black dudes treat fat women better than white dudes. Yeah, it's hard for me to argue with that one. Like I said, 80% of the women that I dated were white, so I've seen everything. I've been with white women that only fuck with black dudes. I've been with white women who never been with a black dude before. Well, I'll tell you this, Fatal Charade. He said, needless to say, I don't associate with her for very much longer. I hate to say it, Fatal Charade, if the chick is overweight, she'll be calling you back more sooner than later. Especially if she one of them chicks that don't got no ass and got a flat ass and her ass look like an extension of her back. She'll be getting a hold of you more sooner than later. He said, where you from? White girls honestly only fuck with Hispanics. You said she was a fat chick who was flat chested. And I was like, how the hell you do that? And Guy Code, you said, where are you from? Oh yeah, I already read that. The white chicks only fuck with Hispanics. I was gonna say, Guy Code, I don't know. Said one of the white chicks you dated was a black guy virgin, aka her first black experience. Yeah, I ran across a lot of those. You know, I fuck with a lot of chicks that and see, damn, see, I hate to get into that subject right there because Donald Trump done brought a lot of fucking racism back to this country. Man, I don't think the racism in this country has been this bad since the '60s. So when I was in the late '80s, early '90s, when I was like 22, 23 years old, the racism wasn't so bad. So it wasn't that hard to hook up with a white chick that never dated a black dude before, because she would, it was one of those things like, hey, don't knock it till you try it, or I'll try anything once. It's one of those type of things. But now, now it's a little bit different. I mean, fuck, I like, now I even see on the dating websites where white girls say I only date white men. My choice. You don't like it, deal with it. Blah blah blah. And it's a Guy Code. Now I know if you ever get a chance to fuck a redhead, from my experience, they're a lady in the streets, but a freak in the sheets. Guy Code, I don't know what it is. Like, redhead chicks is pale as a ghost, but you run across them cute ones, man, goddamn. Said Fatal Charade, when I was growing up, for some odd reason, I mainly attracted blondes. Fatal Charade, when I was in my 20s, see, I love going after the older women. So when I was in my 20s, I loved dating women that was 5, 10 years older than me. But now, I can't do that. I mean, when I was 23 years old or something like that, and I was dating a chick 30 years old, the chick still looked good, still had a nice body, was mature, still looked young, but now that's tough, because with me being 51 years old, I can't fuck with a chick that's 10 years older than me, because she already got 1 foot in the grave. So you did that before with a Muslim chick? Just, then when I hit my 30s, I was dating chicks that was, closer to 40. Even in my 40s, I was still dating chicks that, that was around 50. Right now, I'm 51 right now, and the chick I'm dating is a chick I went to high school with. She's 50, but she don't look it. But no, like 60 years old. No, I can't fuck with them. Not only that, with me being 51 years old, I fuck with a chick that's 60, 62 years old and getting ready to draw Social Security and shit like that. She might have some health problems that she ain't telling you about. That had a couple of back surgeries. Done been through chemo and shit like that already. Just yeah, I'm 51, Guy Code. For the most part, I still look like I still pretty much look like my profile picture. It's just my traps ain't that big. My traps ain't as big as they are in that picture because I was 225 pounds in that picture, and when I went on a diet and got all the way down to like 198 pounds, I had lost a lot of size. So now I'm kind of in the middle. I'm floating around at about 215 pounds. So I got a lot of my size back, but those traps, I didn't get them all the way back. I got a little bit of them back, but not all of it. Since I work at MSU, the women I interact with are either in their early 20s or their 50s and 60s. And Fatal Charade, you just turned 40? All right. Shit, my youngest brother's 46. He said, Guy Code, you feel like a child being 22. Look at it this way. I ain't trying to toot that horn. But I don't look 51. Damn, this stream been going on for an hour. That's why I was saying that I said I should call myself the Godfather of gaming. My parents gave me my first gaming console when I was about 10 years old, like back in 1977. So I've seen the evolution of gaming. I've seen just about everything. Geico, congrats to you. Age is only how you feel. Hey, don't get me wrong, Geico. Some mornings I get out of that bed slow. Some days I get out of that bed with my knees and back stiff and shit like that. So I'm in good shape for my age, but I still, but I'm far from perfect. Fatal Charade, I know what you mean, but at 22 years old, I was probably at my dumbest. You said your age is still on the calendar, 6K. You said that you probably wouldn't have wasted as much time in the arcades. Hey, I was doing it too, Fatal Charade. Because I forgot, you live in Lansing. I don't know if you remember the arcade place called Putt Putt Golf and Games, but this dude I grew up with, we used to go to Putt Putt Golf and Games about 3-4 times a week. So yeah, I spent a lot of time in the arcades, but hey, but I was also messing around with a lot of women too when I was in my 20s. Guy Cole back then, the arcades back then. If you was like really good at a game, people would crowd around that game, and like 10 people would crowd around that game just to watch you play. You said that blue sign on the right, that's a normal street sign? On the left, okay, the arrow. So that sign is actually on this track, huh? Back in my 20s, I used to do a lot of fighting game tournaments, and afterwards we go play Street Fighter in the arcades. Yeah, pretty much. Then I don't know, like some of my favorite games back in the days when I used to go to putt-putt golfing games. Some of my favorite games was the Street Fighter games, the Double Dragon, this game called Renegade. I love that game. Yeah, you said technology brings us together, but it also isolates. You know, like when I used to go to the arcades and that one person that was really good at a game, he had one of two attitudes. Either the dude was really humble, really approachable, and the dude might even give you tips how to be good at a game. Other dudes was like arrogant and like, just some, stuck up dickheads, so those ones, I would watch them play the game from a distance. You said the 7-Eleven down the street from your house used to have arcade. Yeah, I remember those kind of days too. Walking into 7-Elevens and there'd be 3-4 games in there. Playbox, what is up? I am going to have to look into this situation, Playbox, how your original account got blocked from my channel. I didn't do it. I don't know if one of the moderators did it. I'll have to look into it and unlock it so you don't have to keep coming in under this secondary account. Play OG Killzone and talk about life and the girls. Guy Code, when I grew up, when I was in middle school in the 8th grade, one of my friends, this dude, he was Korean and white mixed. He was my best friend at the time. I went over his house and they had every gaming system imaginable. They had the Apple II computer. They had the Odyssey. They had ColecoVision 64. They had the Atari 5200. They had the Intellivision. All this shit in one house. And then they had a big ass projection TV, during a time when houses didn't have projection TVs. And they had one of those projection TVs where you would have like the movie screen that had legs, that stood up on the legs, and then the projector itself was about the size of a small refrigerator. One of those small refrigerators that you might keep in your bedroom. X-Men Code, a fighting game, was the shit back then. Ultimate, Mortal Kombat 3, Street Fighter. Yeah, I did play a lot of I did play a lot of Mortal Kombat back then too. Now, Fatal Charade, this dude house I went to, he was good, but one of the reasons he wasn't all that good was because his stepfather was a straight dick. His stepfather didn't like me, and his stepfather was like a grouch and, didn't want to let him play half the damn consoles they had in there. Hey, Fatal Charade, I did the exact same thing. I had a Sega Saturn and had Virtual Fighter. But my friend, because my friend was selling them. I guess now get this. Now listen to this charade, Fatal Charade. My best friend at the time, this white chick that he was fucking with, he used to have her go to the stores, I can't remember what store she used to go to, but he used to have her go to the store and steal consoles. She used to steal Sega Saturns and PlayStations.
And see, the reason why she was able to steal that shit so damn easy, because she looked like one of them innocent white girls who wouldn't steal nothing, so they wouldn't check her. You know, they always gonna check black people. You know, if you come in there, you know, if the shit ain't stapled to your arm, they gonna look at you like you stole it. So he was sitting this chick in there to steal all these councils. She would throw them in the shopping cart and walk right out the store with them. He would take these consoles and he would sell them for $200 each. And so I bought the Sega Saturn from him, and it had, you know, Virtua Fighter, and you know, which was pretty fun. But then I fucked around and, you know, tried his PlayStation, and he had Tekken. And after that, it was over. I sold that Saturn and bought a PlayStation off of him. You said you ran that scam before. That's how I got so many stacks from various stores. Hey, Fatal Charade, I even had my son's mother do that because, now, you remember during the 360 generation with the Red Rings of Death, everybody's heard my story a million times where Microsoft's customer service fucked me over. You know, I don't want to go into that again because I would be here all night telling that story. But once it became obvious that dealing with Microsoft, I wasn't going to be able to get this console replaced, I went to Walmart and bought a brand new Xbox 360. My son's mother took a razor blade and she peeled all the serial numbers off on both consoles, the ones with the red ring and the new one, and she switched them. She took a Q-tip and cleaned the old 360 up that had the red ring. She cleaned it up perfect. Packed it back up in the box, everything. Took it back to Walmart and said she wanted her money back. And they asked her why. She said, because, you know, I bought it for my boyfriend, but he's already got one, so I don't need this. So they opened the box up and they was like, well, you know, the console's packed upside down, but no big deal. They threw it in the back and gave her money back. And so I had a brand new console. Since Microsoft wouldn't replace my console, I had to go fuck somebody over, you know. Playbox, you playing Madden NFL 19? Are you streaming it? Because now that Madden's out, I do want to check out some people's stream. Like Craig Harris, I know he said he was going to go ahead and pick up Madden today. And so he said he might stream today. He might stream a game. I don't know if he did it. I'll have to go back and check his YouTube page. Fatal Charade, man, I had 2 or 3 Dreamcasts. That console was ahead of its time. Yeah, I love that Dreamcast. NFL 2K, NBA 2K, Quake 3 Arena, Alien Front Online, the original UFC, the very first UFC game that was ever created was on the Sega Dreamcast. One of the best games I ever played. Yeah, I remember KB toy stores that we had one here in Woodland Mall. Yeah, I had a Sega Genesis too, Guy Code. So actually, what happened with me was I had the Atari 5200. That was the last console that my parents had, bought for me. After that, I became a teenager, and then I went into my 20s, and so I was chasing a lot of women out in the street, doing a lot of dumb shit, so I wasn't playing video games. And I didn't come back to video games until I bought the Sega Genesis. After I bought that Sega Genesis, I came back to video games and was here to stay. So, well, I think it's time for me to go ahead and shut it down. I gotta get some sleep. get ready for work. The Red Rings of Death was real fail. Microsoft really fucked that up. They really did, silly boy. Sometimes I hate talking about the Red Ring of Death because it really makes me mad that Microsoft rushed the console out that wasn't ready because they were trying to get the jump on Sony and the PS3. And then in the beginning, they weren't replacing them. They were finding ways to try to blame the consumer. And they weren't replacing these consoles. And, not sad about my experience that they basically sent me back a fucked up console. So with that being said, any unfortunates that happen to Microsoft, I don't get mad. In fact, I celebrate. Whenever fucked up shit happens to Microsoft, I dance with glee. And with that being said, I'm ready for Google. If they're making a gaming console, I'm ready for them to get in here. If Amazon's thinking about getting to the, into the console business, hurry up, get on in here. If Sega's thinking about making another console and getting back into the console business, get on back in here. Because if we had that many choices, I guarantee you Microsoft would get out of the console business because the waters would just be too treacherous for them. So, yeah, it wasn't a good business for Microsoft. It was just, like I said, if Microsoft packed up and left the console business, it wouldn't hurt my feelings at all. I mean, I know that could set the tone for Sony to get arrogant, but if Microsoft left the console business, I wouldn't miss them. Fuck them. You got feeling elements of Microsoft wants out of the console business. I wouldn't doubt it, Fatal Charade, because I've read articles in the past that their shareholders, as well as the brass, wanted Microsoft to sell out the Xbox division years ago. So I will say this about Phil Spencer. Even though he hasn't done shit for the consumer, he has found a way to make Microsoft make the Xbox division be self-sustained and stay afloat, I think, without funding from the company. So, yeah, I know it's time for me to get ready to go now. I'm starting to get a scratchy throat from rambling all night. Hey, but I enjoyed talking to all of y'all. Yeah, Fatal Charade. I had heard that Bill Gates didn't even really want to fuck with Xbox like that. Somebody, kind of, pushed it on him, but, not only that, I heard the Xbox was created for the sole purpose of trying to destroy the PlayStation because I understand Microsoft approached Sony during the first generation about trying to collaborate with them to try to make the PlayStation an online console. And Sony didn't want to fuck with them, so Microsoft went back and created the Xbox for the sole purpose of trying to destroy Sony. Because I guess they was butthurt that Sony didn't want to work with them. But all right, y'all, I'm out of here. I'm going to do a podcast tomorrow because, I'm going to formally announce it. Porter Rock and I, we're going to get that game in Sunday after his Digital Streets podcast. When he gets done with that, then we're going to play our baseball game Sunday. So I'll do a podcast to officially announce that. And then we can talk about, whatever else y'all want to talk about. But I definitely enjoyed talking to everybody in here. And that's what I was saying about doing these streams. Is killing two birds with one stone. I'm getting my gaming fix on because gaming is my passion, and I'm talking to all of you at the same time too. So even though I ran a fucked up race, it was still enjoyable talking to all of y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay it down, call it a night, and I'll hook up with all of y'all tomorrow when I stream. Oh yeah, silly boy. Thrash makes those videos using the PlayStation Share Factory. He taught me how to use it because before I started live streaming, I was making videos too, and I had tinkered around with the Share Factory. But then one time Thrash and we were sitting in the party chat, and he walked me through how to use that Share Factory. And it's just like Thrash said, if he can do all that shit using the Share Factory, imagine what he could do with a PC. Like I said, the dude talk ghetto as fuck, but he's intelligent. The dude is intelligent. So, alright, for the 1,000th time, I'm out of here. I will see y'all tomorrow. We'll pick this chat up during my stream tomorrow. So think of some shit to talk about, and we'll pick this up tomorrow. This is your boy Liquid Clay. I'll holler at y'all. Y'all have a good night.